So moving on at 32, and we have more than 100 people connected for this event. Whoa, Singapore too. So let's go. So nice to meet you. I'm the CEO of Partoo. My name is Thibault Renouf, and basically just to present to you very briefly Partoo, we are a local conversion platform. That means that we help stores around the world to attract more people to their place locally. And we are a tech company founded in July 2014. We are 400 people, and we have been experiencing a fast growth of about 50% per year over the past 4 years. So we are focused on helping stores around the world adapt to the new buying journeys of people on the internet. We have around 1,000 customers in 150 countries, and that's why you so many from various countries connected. And you can see some of the logos we have because we have more than 1,000 customers, and it's in various sectors, and they are all facing the changes of the internet. That's why we're doing this this webinar to explain you a bit more what's going on here and what's the future of the internet might be. Just to give you a very quick overview of what we're doing at Partoo, the first thing we do is basically we synchronize all the business data, the local information of stores across 20 platforms. So that means that each time you look at Google Maps or Apple Maps or Facebook Local, etc., we basically update the open hours, the address, the website, the photos, and most of the information, and we do it at scale for 300,000 stores. We also do it for photos and news posting. We also develop store locators for our clients. That means the map that is on your website. We also manage reviews, and that's what we're going to talk about today too. We centralize all the Facebook and Google Maps reviews of stores, and we help stores to answer those reviews by using templates or AI templates. And we also analyze your reviews compared to competitors and also your ranking as a store on Google Maps. And the last thing we do is we help you centralize all the messages from WhatsApp, from your website, from Facebook Local, from Instagram. So we have a platform where we centralize all the messages, and we help you answer those messages also through AI. So this is what we do, and we do that for 1,000 big companies in many countries. So today, the subject of the webinar is AI overview. First, we're gonna get into the context of what is AI overview, what has been the news, and why we're talking about it today. Then we'll move to some practical tips on how to adapt to this new big change of the internet and try to understand what are the sources of information that are used by AI overview to formulate the answer they're providing to users. And then we're going to talk about long-term impact, what's the future of ads, what the future of internet, and try to understand how it will go moving forward. So let's start with the context on the news. So just to quickly introduce, I think it's important to explain that generative AI has revolutionized several sectors over the last 2 years, and you all know ChatGPT or GPT-4, GPT 4.0. It helps the AI generates text or image or videos based on what we call generative AI. So this ability from artificial intelligence to generate text has helped a lot of SEO provider to create content. So basically when ChatGPT was launched, we saw a big jump on the number of long content. So content that has a lot of words because people start to use the AI to generate content. But actually, more than a content revolution, generative AI enables a real revolution in the search experience. So when you see AI, you just think, oh, I'm going to be able to create more content. But actually, AI will not only change the way you produce content, but also the way you search for content. So, Hugo, you can hear? People can hear, or am I speaking? Yeah. We can hear. Okay. Yeah, keep it on. Sorry. So basically, Google launched the equivalent of GPT-4 that is called Gemini, and Gemini is a large language model. And Sundar Pichai, who is the CEO of Google, actually announced we are entering in the Gemini era, meaning that Gemini, the AI LLM, will basically be at the center of Google development in the coming years. So in May 2023, you may have heard something called Google SGE. SGE stands for Search Generative Experience. So Google decided to try to implement a block of AI generative text that actually summarize some of the information that they can find on the website to provide user with a summary of the information they need. So you can see it here in green. So you basically have a text that is AI generated, and it was only on the wish list. So it was on the search lab, not available to everyone. And actually in May 2024, so maybe 2 months ago, they decided to roll out SGE, but to all the US. And that's what we're going to talk about. So that was in May during the big conference. You can see Sundar Pichai at the bottom right of the screen, and they launched what they called AI Overviews. So AI Overviews is basically the new name for Google SGE that you may have heard of. And you can see and read the text below. It's rolling out in US and more countries soon. And that's why we believe that it's going to be rolled out in Europe soon too. So the question is, what is AI Overview, the following name of Google SGE? So basically, AI Overview provides user with a snapshot generated by AI. When they tested it, this AI Overview snapshot appeared in 82% of the searches, but they've started to roll it out, but at only 26% at the moment, and it's been dropping a bit. Guys, can you hear or? Yes, okay. We're not sorry for that. So basically, if you see a search on Google, you have now 2 blocks. The first one is AI Overview that you can see here. So the question is how to plug an hybrid car. The text that is below this query is actually AI generated. It's 1, 2, 3. They just explain how to do it. It's very different from the 0 position. The 0 position is actually a snapshot of a website with a text that is just taken from the website. It's not AI generated. So it's very important to differentiate AI Overview from the 0 position that already existed long ago. If we take a mobile phone, you can see that the AI answered, the AI Overview actually take the full screen. So when you type, so how do you clean a fabric? Basically, Google's going to search on the website and try to find the relevant information, summarize that information, and give you an answer the same way ChatGPT does. But this answer is integrated in the search experience, and you can see websites below. So that's how the web is actually doing in the US right now. And what Google is saying is that people who use AI Overview in the US actually use search more and are more satisfied with their results. So it's also a way for Google to fight the use of ChatGPT by users that are searching for relevant information. So the person behind all these changes is called Elizabeth Reed. She's the VP of Search at Google. And she actually said that Google AI Overview should be made available in some countries in addition to the US before the end of 2024. And that's the reason why we are talking about it today, is because the US is the first step, but we believe that Europe and also Singapore and all the other countries might experience changes in the way we use internet. And you need to prepare for those changes to be ready and to have a proper website that is adapted to this new way of searching. So what are the changes? So I've summarized the changes that are coming in 5 big changes. The first one is that people will search with longer queries. So they'll type more words. The second is that we'll do more personalized answer. The third, they ask complex questions. And fourth, they will be using Google to do some inspiration and brainstorming. And the last, which is also very, very important, is that you can search by video, sound, or image the same way you can use Shazam or other types of tools. So let's dive in each of these changes, and I'm going to explain you in which respect it actually impacts internet. So the first big changes is that people will be able to do longer search. So it's what we call the long tail. A very good example from Google is someone searching from a Pilates or a yoga class recommended by people in the neighborhood, easily accessible for me by transport, and offering a discount for the first class, and within walking distance of Beacon Hill. This type of search is very specific, and it's a new way of searching, usually by voice to your phone. And this type of searches is very specific. So the AI will have to search across the web, across the reviews, across a lot of type of content to provide the user with a relevant query. So it's a growing trend that is called the long tail. It means people will not do small search, they will do longer search. So that's big changes. Actually, a lot of people are calling it a conversation engine, meaning that you'll be able not only to put a long query, but also do actually a conversation with the AI, asking follow-up questions. So you'll have a first question asking, I'm looking for Pilates, and then I can specify some queries, and I specify my request to find specific results. So from a search engine, we're moving on to a conversation engine, and that's what AI Overview will be changing in the coming years. The second big change is personalized search. So the more you'll be using AI Overview, the more you'll give information to the AI for the AI to provide you specific queries adapted to you. Because the AI will have long-term memory. That means that they will understand what you were searching before and what you might like as content. So this is very interesting because the AI will better understand if you're a male or female, where you come from, what you like, and they will adapt this AI snapshot to your specific need. And that's going to be a big change in the way we use internet, because everybody will have a different search experience based on their need and characteristics. So that's the second big change. The third one is actually that AI paves the way for more complex questions. Here is a very interesting example. Actually, a user actually asked AI Overview to create a 3-day meal plan for a group that is easy to prepare. So the AI will actually provide 3-day meal plan. So it was not possible before, because if you type 3 days meal plan, you will be redirected to websites. But in this new search experience, Google will be able to provide you with plan. So they will be able to get a lot of information from various websites and give you a perfect understanding of what you should do to prepare those meals. And this kind of complex question can be adapted to real estate project or to travel. If you want to go to Egypt, they will provide you with a full travel experience without you having to click on any website. And this is a huge change for the way you will provide information to AI Overview and to Google. So this is the third way AI Overview changes the way we use internet. The fourth way Google will change the way you use internet is also about inspiration and brainstorming. When you use ChatGPT, you have a discussion with ChatGPT and you actually ask for advice or ideas. And Google was not very good at providing ideas or brainstorming. The new AI Overview feature actually understands what you expect and the needs you have. So, for example, if I ask, I want a place to celebrate my birthday in Dallas, they will provide me with a lot of ideas, like maybe a casino or bar or a club, but they will not just ask me to do what I want to do. They would understand that if I want to celebrate my birthday, maybe I want a party, or maybe I want, I don't know, to go to the museum or whatever. So it's not only a search engine, it's now becoming a reasoning engine, meaning that you'll be able to discuss and get inspiration from Google, not only search for specific stuff. So that's also a big change. And last but not least, Google is moving to a multimodal experience. What does it mean? It means that you'll be able to upload a video, upload a photo, upload a music, and you'll be able to search based on this content, which is not a text. So for example, imagine you're in a party and you just listen to music you like. You can search using that music you recorded, or you can take a photo of your friend that has a nice skirt, and you basically can search for that to know where you can buy it. So this is a new search experience, and we can see that this is transforming the way we use internet. Which is interesting that to see is that this option, AI Overview in the US, cannot be deactivated. So you cannot take it away. So basically, if it's rolled out in Europe, you'll have to adapt to it, and every user will have to use this new feature, which is basically AI in the search experience. Over the past months, there have been some press around this topic because Google AI Overview provided problematic response to some queries to some users. So here you have a perfect example. Someone asking that his cheese is not sticking to the pizza, and the AI suggests that they add non-toxic glue to the sauce to give more stickiness, which is a bit problematic because it can harm the health of that person. So there'll be a lot of sound around these problematic answers, a lot of memes, a lot of funny stuff that has been pouring out of the web. And even if these cases are isolated, there have been a lot of press around it. So the problem around these wrong answers is that there are a lot of websites that are actually not very relevant and that can be satirical. So another query actually asked, how can I get more healthy? And they recommend to eat at least one small rock a day, which is obviously stupid. But the answer to that is that there was a website that was satirical and that said that you should eat one small rock per day. So the AI didn't understand that this article was satirical. And the problem is that there is no website that will tell you not to eat a small rock a day, because this is nonsense. You will not say to people not to do that. So that's what we call an information void, which means that there's no information to tell you not to eat a rock, but there is small information to tell you that you need to eat a rock. So the AI will use that information. So the question has been asked, is Google moving too fast on AI? And this is another example of Gemini generating image, and that has actually hit the press a lot, because when you ask to create the image of a pope, there were a pope, Indian or woman, etc., which is obviously more open-minded, but which is less realistic that you could hope for. And Elizabeth Reid, mentioned before, she is the person that actually launched this new AI overview experience. She's the VP of search at Google. And she said basically that there is nothing quite like having millions of people using the feature. When Google decided to roll out AI overview, they went from thousands of queries a day to millions of queries a day. And that's what led to a lot of problems, the AI answering stupid stuff. So Google actually wrote a long article about it. They called it AI Overviews about last week. So what they explain, if I summarize this article, if you can't read it, is just basically that AI Overview is based on reliable sites. And AI Overview is not supposed to do hallucinations, meaning that AI Overview will not do mistakes. The problem is that internet users have tried to trick AI Overview by asking questions that has been spun in such a way as to generate the wrong answer. Also, we've seen many fake screenshots. Say, a lot of people said, okay, this is a buzzing on their social networks, so I'll try to find a way to trick Google AI Overview to share it on Facebook or on Twitter. So the number of times the question, how many rocks should I eat a day, has been skyrocketing over the past few months. So as I mentioned, it's a problem of information gap. So this will also be the case if you add a search on the website. So at Partoo, we think that AI Overview is here to stay. to stay, even if currently AI Overview is experiencing some problems with user trying to trick it. So now, if we believe that AI Overview is here to stay, we need to understand how AI Overview source its information. So we're going to give you some practical advice on this topic. So if you want to understand the way the web is structured, you need to understand that there are two types of data. The first is called structured data. It's basically tables with information, structured information in the tables, basically. And you have also unstructured data, which is photos, videos, text, articles. So the internet is based on these two types of data. And to avoid mistakes like hallucination, Google needs to use structured data because this is the way you can actually avoid some mistakes. So what does Google do when they provide you with an AI-generated answer? They use AI Overview to get unstructured data with a concept that we call RAG, and they use Gemini, their AI assistant, to generate an answer that you'll see in your search query. So that's how actually it works for US users when they search for something actually today on the internet. Now, how do you search? So there are four sources of information. The first one is called knowledge graph. The second is called database. The third is called website and metadata. And the fourth one is called UGC. These four sources of data are very important because they feed AI Overview to provide you with the correct answer to your specific queries. So we're going to deep dive into each of these big data sources to understand how Google used those data sources to answer to your queries. The first one is called the knowledge graph. So knowledge graph is basically the database of facts or objects, company, music, films. And it's called also, when you see it, it's called knowledge panel. A knowledge panel is a big stuff on the right. So if we take the example of the Eiffel Tower, so you can see if I type Eiffel Tower on Google, Google actually has verified facts about the Eiffel Tower. It means the open hours, the reviews, the construction dates, the description. So all this information is structured into a big graph of data, of structured data that is called the knowledge graph. And they have specific entities like singers, actors, monuments, facts, events. All that is facts and it cannot be changed. It's very specific to Google database. And how do Google structure that knowledge graph is using data that they believe are relevant, that they believe are true and verified. So they will use, for example, press, but they will also use Google Maps or Hallucine or Wikipedia is a big source of knowledge graph, or Spotify for the music. And they will create entities, fact, event, artist, music, films, actor. All these are entities that are connected to each other. If you are an actor, you are in a film, and in the film you have a music. On the music, you have a singer. All these entities are connected together with metadata on each of them. So knowledge graph is a big source for AI Overview not to do too many mistakes. And Google is moving forward with this new knowledge graph. And they are creating what we call the new brand profile or merchant brand profile. And this is something that has been released in the US and that will come maybe in Europe in the coming months. It's basically the ability for e-commerce website to have the same way as a store, which is using Google Business Profile. They'll have a merchant brand profile. It's inspired by Google Business Profile, and it will actually give you a full page of, for example, your cosmetic company. And in this new merchant brand profile, you'll have videos, you'll have customer reviews, you'll have promotions, you have shipping policy, and all the information that users are looking for. And this will be part of the knowledge graph. So now we've talked about the knowledge graph, which is the first data source for Google, and it's important for your company to be listed in this knowledge graph. Now we're going to talk about the Google database and tools. So if you take OpenAI and you ask them, where should I get lunch today near Tangletown, Seattle? They will give you a list of places you can eat. So for example, Mighty O Donuts or Elysian Tangletown, etc. The problem is that most of the places that ChatGPT will give you are not adapted to your queries. Sometimes they are closed, sometimes they are far, sometimes they make you eat donuts and you want lunch. So why is ChatGPT not good at giving you correct information on these specific queries? The specific reason why AI Overview is better than OpenAI at giving you specific data is because they have a structured database. And that structured database is not only one database, but many of them. So Google is using tens of database. A first one could be called Google Manufacturer Center. The second is Google News Publisher, Google Travel Flights, Google Business Profile, or Google Merchant Center. In the Google Business Profile, you have all the stores in France, in Europe, with the open hours, the address, the website, etc., which is something Partoo updates constantly. But you also have the Google Merchant Center, which is all the products that are sold by e-commerce website. So all these big databases are fueling AI Overview with updated information. And it's very important for AI Overview to have access to structured database, because if the database is not structured, then you have mistakes, what we call hallucination. So Google AI Overview will be using those structured database to highlight your products, to highlight your stores, to highlight your information. And an example is on the left, you have an example of AI Overview snapshot that is generated by AI, and that is called a product listing page, or PLPs. And these types of information will be growing because users are looking for photos, correct information, reviews, etc. And this information is actually stored in the Merchant Center. So Google is moving forward with this great asset, which is database. The same way you have product listing page, you also have local pack. So a local pack is actually the 3 results you have currently in Google Maps if you search on Google. But what is very interesting right now is that there will be an AI local pack, which means a local pack that is AI generated, which is different from the local pack we have currently. And you can see there might be 5 listings on this AI local pack. So it's interesting to keep up with these new updates to see how your stores will be impacted by AI Overview in the coming months. So the biggest idea you need to remember from this presentation is that you need to provide Google with the relevant information. So if you have stores, you need to update Google Business Profile with all the information, with your menu, with your open hours, with your booking links, with Q&As, etc., etc. And very important because this data will be then used by Google AI Overview to adapt their answers to the users. So the first step is make sure all your information is correctly stored. You can also update your menu, and Partoo will help you on that and update all the information of your menu. So your database on the web should be also the same across several websites. So it should be the same on Google, on Facebook, on Just à Côté, etc. So you need to synchronize all those websites using a tool like Partoo. Now we're moving on to the third data sources, which is called websites. Obviously, AI Overview will get information from your websites. So they will use knowledge graph, they will use the data sources like database and your websites to fuel information and provide information to users. Lots of people have been speculated about the end of websites. You can see the graph here is showing the increase of the number of websites around the world over the past 20 years. What we can see is that between 2017 and today, the number of websites in the world has been stable. So there are as many number of websites that are created that are suppressed. So it's a big change for the internet. It was exponential growth and now it's stable. A lot of people believe that in the coming years, this will be the end of the SERPs. So what are SERPs? It's a search engine results page. It's basically the link that you can see in blue. All these blue links are called results page, and the experience is called a search engine result page, SERPs. And the idea of Google over the past months, over the past years, has been to provide answers and not just links. So it's a big trend that is called no-click search. No-click search is called no-click search because you actually go on the internet, you look for something, and you don't click. You just have the information right away. And this is something that will be growing with AI overview. I'm going to give you some example for you to understand. If I'm typing on Google, what is the weather in Cairo? I'll have all the information directly in Google, and that information is using a website and is actually directly in the Google search experience. Or when did Charlemagne died? Or where is the closest supermarket? Each of these queries is a no-click search query, meaning that I won't click on any websites. And this accounts for above 50% of all Google search. And this number will increase due to AI overview adoption in the coming years. So what is going to be the objectives of a website? If you have a website, your objective will be to be listed as a source of content of the AI generated overview. So in this example, you have a query in the US that is, who is Kim Kardashian dating? So you can see that the answer is basically given right away. So as of March 2024, Kim Kardashian is dating Odell Beckham, basically Jr. Basically, you have all the information you need to answer to your friend or to find this information. This is the same way as people are using ChatGPT currently. But what is interesting is that below, you have the website. You have the website on which the AI-generated answer is based. So you can click on those websites to have additional information. And your objective as a company will be to be listed as a source of information for AI-generated overviews. So the question is how to make your link appear, how to generate clicks when all the information is sometimes provided in the AI overview. So basically, we've looked into all Google guidelines. And what we found is that they say that you don't have to do anything special to be listed in this kind of sources. But I think it's important to remind you all the small things you can do to be listed. So the third thing is quality content, website performance, and structured data. So we're going to deep dive into each of them very quickly to give you a wrap up of all you need to know about it. So quality content. So the first thing is, as people will ask questions, content should be informative. You should have FAQ section, use relevant keywords, interactive content, etc. You can read it. So I'm going to quickly move forward. You have also the structured data. So this is very important. All your data on your website need to be structured, and you need to put some metadata. So if you've heard of schema.org, is a way to actually tag your information on your website to say, this is my logo, this is my open hours, this is my, address. All this information are very important because the AI will actually scan your website and try to understand what is what and how they can answer better to user. So using structured data on your website, using schema.org is very important. So Partoo, I mentioned in the beginning of this presentation, provides a lot of company with store locator. A store locator is what you can see on this list, on this page. It's basically a list of all your stores with call to actions like calling or itinerary requests. And you also have a map showing all your stores. And this is very important to update this information and more importantly, to tag this information. So if you go into the code, basically you'll see that all this information have metadata, meaning that you need to integrate into your code all the information of open hour specification or locality or all this information that Google will scan and then use in AI overview. So if you want an audit for free of your store locator to understand if it's correctly managed, feel free to reach out to Partoo, and we'll basically do this audit for free and tell you if you're ready to AI overview changes coming. So if you want to do it by yourself, you can also do it on validatorschema.org, because what is important is that the AI will not be scanning the website the same way a user will. So you need to adapt to these new changes and structure your information in a way that the AI will understand it. A last point is website performance. So it's important to improve your site loading speed, to optimize your image, and just make sure that your website is mobile first, as it's going to be increasingly important for Google to rank your website. So a point that is very important is that Google estimates that AI overview will not lead to a drop in website traffic. So that's what they've been saying to all the user and all the press around the world, because a lot of people are afraid that the number of visits of their website will be dropping due to this big change of AI overview in the coming months. So I'm giving you 3 quotes of Google that I think are important to understand their position regarding this fear of a lot of websites. So the first idea is that the internet user consult a wider range of websites when they use AI overview. The second is that when the internet users click on an AI overview link, those clicks are higher quality. What is higher quality for Google is that it means that the user would spend more time on the website. The third big idea of Google is that Google remains committed to sending quality traffic to publisher and creator. So this is very important to understand that a lot of people fear that Google will take out some traffic from websites, but Google explains that AI overview will actually not decrease the visit to websites. So it's a debate that we can have later. Actually, the media world is worried because 40% of newspaper traffic comes from Google, and a lot of press media in the world have been very hard drop of traffic due to AI overview and zero-click search, which is a tendency that we were speaking before. So we've mentioned website. So first we mentioned knowledge graph. Second, we mentioned database. Third, we mentioned website. There is a fourth source of data. And this fourth source of data will be very important for you to understand the impact of AI overview. This new idea is called UGC, for user-generated content. Maybe you've heard of this topic, UGC and user-generated content, but this will be a growing trend around, in the coming years. So I'm going to focus on this specific topic in the next minutes. So UGC is first photos that are posted by user. If you have Google Maps listings and you have a lot of stores, you can see that a lot of people are posting photos. So AI overview will be using those photos to answer to specific queries. Let's take an example. So I'm looking for a dog-friendly restaurant, and I'm typing in Paris, dog-friendly restaurant on Google. How will Google understand that a restaurant is dog-friendly? First, they can look at the website if it's mentioned, or they can look at the database they have on Google Business Profile. But a good way to do so is also to look at the pictures. With AI, Google is able to see the animals in the photos and rank higher the one that have a dog in photos, because they believe that if there is a photo of a dog, then the restaurant would be dog friendly. So this is an example of how photos can impact the ranking of your results in AI overview if you're a restaurant or any type of business. And the answer of AI overview is becoming more visual. So on the left, you have June 2023, July 2023 on the right. So it was 1 year ago. And you can see that there are more photos in the AI overview snapshot, which is a growing trend too. But AI overview will not only use user-generated content like photo, they will also use reviews, because customer reviews are supposedly neutral source of information. Let me explain you a bit more how it works. So if I tell you that Partoo is the best company in the world, you will not believe me because I'm the CEO of Partoo, so I'm biased. So it's the same way for any topic. So if a company says their product is the best, nobody will believe them. So Google cannot use your website to tell if your product is good or the quality of your product. They need to find a non-biased source of information. And this non-biased source of information are UGC, user-generated content, especially reviews. So moving forward, reviews by customer reviews will be playing an important role in the way Google actually rank your website or rank your services. This is really important to understand. So if I take an AI-generated summary on the question iPhone 15 pros and cons, meaning I want to buy an iPhone 15, but I'm not sure it's the best iPhone to buy because maybe it's more expensive. So I want to know the pros and cons. If I take that and I find Apple website, basically this will be biased because Apple will actually lead me to buy this iPhone 15. But what Google AI Overview will be doing is actually scanning all the reviews about AI 15 and give you all the pros and all the cons of iPhone 15. So you can understand how it applies to your business, because if you have good reviews, then you will be better shown to clients, and it's very important for you to work on that topic. So Partoo is helping more than 300,000 stores to better manage reviews on Google Maps, on Facebook or TripAdvisor. But what is more important is to get more reviews. So maybe your rating is not very good, maybe you have very few reviews. So a big trend to prepare for AI Overview is the ability to collect reviews. You can use QR codes, email, you can have your staff asking for reviews, but make sure to grow your number of reviews, because UGC and user reviews will be a growing source of information for Google to showcase your restaurant, your store, and your business. So this is a big advice I wanted to share with you in this presentation. What is interesting is that Google expand also its data sources, because data source is very important when it comes to AI. So they will use Twitter posts, YouTube video, Amazon ads, TikTok, LinkedIn posts. So Google is taking all the sources they can to provide the best answer to the users. And in the AI overview, they're now including TikTok videos. So this is crazy because TikTok is basically a competitor of Google. And now Google is including TikTok videos in AI overview. So we're coming back to an open web, which was the objective at the beginning. So now we're coming to the third part. So, and then what are the impacts? So the first impact that I wanted to mention is search ads format. So there is a big question on how will ads be included in all this new search experience. So the first thing is there will be ads above and below AI overview, depending on how much you pay, etc. But what's coming in is AI overview will include also ads. So that's a quote from Google. We will soon start testing search and shopping ads in AI overview in the US. What does it mean? It means, imagine you asking something about to repair your home. So you want to repair your home, and you need to find a way, the steps to do so. So you type that into Google, and Google will generate an AI overview answer with few steps to repair what you need to repair. But in the middle, they'll suggest you some products from Google Shopping that you can buy to do the second or the third step. So you can see how ads will be at the top, at the bottom, but sometimes in the middle of AI overviews answer. And that's very interesting to see, because as you know, Google revenue come from ads. So it's very important for Google to keep having those revenue streams, despite the fact that people won't go as much on website. Other very interesting news from Google is virtual try-on. So AI will also change the way you actually buy stuff. If you want to buy a shirt, you'll be able to try it on. So this was a GIF, but it's converted to PDF, so you can not have the full experience of it, but you'll be able to just take a photo, maybe see how it fits. So that's another example of how ads will be improved, maybe improving the conversion of your ads based on those new features that Google is developing. Another one is 3D ad formats. Imagine you want to sell a shoe, you put it on a table, you take 5 pictures of it, you upload them on Google, and they will develop a 3D view of your shoes, so you can better sell and better convert. So Google will basically create the 360 view of any product you want to sell. So this will also help in the AI overview to better convert into ads format. So to finish this presentation, we've been together for nearly 50 minutes. Thanks for staying with me. So the last topic I wanted to discuss with you is the race for multimodal assistants. So you may have heard of Perplexity. So Perplexity is a new search engine. It's a startup that has been created in the US in 2022, and they already have 10 million of visitors every month. So it's a small competitor for Google, but it's a big startup now. And they have very interesting investors. So you have Nat Friedman, who is the former CEO of GitHub. You have Yann Lequin, who is Chief Technology Officer at Meta. You have the CEO of NVIDIA. You have Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon. So a lot of people are interested in this new startup. Why is that? It's because Perplexity provides you with a new search experience. So you can just type Perplexity on Google right now and try to experience the way this new startup is trying to compete with Google AI Overview. So it's already available today in Europe. So just try it. You'll see how this new experience is interesting, because in Perplexity, you don't have only websites, but you also have a text, as you can see on the right of this slide. But OpenAI CEO, who is called Sam Altman, actually said that the world doesn't need another copy of Google, because he said it's boring. So it's a pretty harsh on Google, but we still see that most of the people in the world use Google. So why is Sam Altman saying that? So on the 30th of May, 2024, so it was one day before Google I/O. Google I/O was the big conference when Sundar Pichai actually announced the launch of AI Overview, the rollout of AI Overview, which we have been talking for the past hour. So OpenAI said, we're launching ChatGPT 4.0. And what is the difference between ChatGPT 4 and ChatGPT 4.0? ChatGPT 4.0 is multimodal. That means that you can use it to actually film or talk to the AI. So it's not only text, it's multimodal. And to answer to this new to answer to this new ChatGPT feature, Google launched what we called Google Astra. So Google Astra is a competitor of ChatGPT 4.0. So it's an assistant and not a search engine. So Google has AI Overview, that is a search engine, and now it's developing Project Astra, which is a virtual assistant. So the Astra project, what is it? It's basically an AI assistant based on Gemini, which is the LLM of Google. And like GPT 4.0, it can command the world in real time. So you can use it by filming around you, taking pictures or discussing, and Astra answer quickly to the questions. So what is crazy that you can discuss with Astra, talking to the AI, and there is no latency, and it can be switched off too. So this is another way to understand the way we can search online. So what if I summarize what I've been talking about is on the one end you have AI overlays on the web. So basically a new search engine, which is New Bing, AI Overview, Perplexity. So this is basically the new search experience, but it's just an overlay of AI on the historical search experience. And you have another type of search experience, which is the multimodal assistant. And it's GPT 4.0, Astra, Siri, and other projects that have been launched over the past months. So this is very interesting to see that there is two paths in the way we'll be using internet. Will we be using AI Overview, or will we just discuss with a multimodal assistant? And this is very interesting to understand. And what Google is thinking about maybe is about the Google Glass. So maybe the Astra project will be integrated in Glass that you can be using, searching around the world to understand better stuff, to actually know what shirt your friend is wearing, or what is that monument, and to know the height of the monument, everything you need to better understand the world around you. And you also have a lot of people that are launching glasses, including Meta and other companies. So that was a hell of a webinar for me in English, as it's not my mother tongue, a natural tongue. But anyway, I hope you had some information. Now we'll move on to questions because I saw a lot of them. And you're still more than 150 connected to this webinar. So thanks a lot for staying with me, despite some English difficulties sometimes. But let's dive into all the questions you might have. So I'm going to answer to some of the questions of Raoul first. So will be this multimodal assistant integrated in AI overview or AI overlays? So Raoul, your question is to understand if Astra will be integrated in AI overview. The answer is no. Astra is a specific project that is very specific because it's a multimodal assistant. But Astra uses the same AI, which is called Gemini. So AI overview and Astra are two usage of Gemini. So it's not, Astra will not be integrated in AI overview because it's two way of using Gemini. And to answer to Mud about the question, what are the difference between Astra and Gemini? Astra is the vocal assistant and Gemini is the large language model. It's the same way. So if I say ChatGPT 4.0 is the chat and GPT 4.0 is the LLM. So one is the interface and the other is the engine, and it's very different. Then if we answer to the other question, we have Janodrain. So does it summarize search results or does it look for search results to support its Gen AI answer? So basically how it works, how AI overview works is basically it goes on the internet, find the correct information to answer to your query, and summarize all these queries, all this information into one Gen AI answer. So it's a bit of both. Another question, when can we expect to see this fully rolled out in the UK and in the EU? So regarding this question, it's very hard to answer. 2 months ago, I would have told you that it will be rolled out by the end of 2024. But the problem is that Google has faced a lot of backlash regarding AI overview due to some problems in the answer that we mentioned earlier. So we believe it will be most likely rolled out mid-2025, but maybe before. It's very hard to say. The second question is, how compatible is it with the DMA? For example, the DMA aims to limit VLLPS from self-preferencing. If the Gen AI output is original content, then Google is a publisher, hence preferencing its own content. So Jono had a very good question here, and it could be a full specific webinar, but let's try to answer that question. We are facing a fight between EU regulation and GAFA innovation. So you have companies that are innovating a lot, changing the way we use internet, and at the same time, EU is trying to keep up with those changes and regulate them. So DMA has been trying to regulate the web of 2020, and now it's moving to the new web 2024, and the regulation is a bit going too slow to understand what are the new changes. So I would say that they are completely opposite, and DMA is obviously fighting with AI overview in the vision we have. And what is interesting is that a lot of companies, including Apple or Google, are launching stuff using AI in the US, and they don't want to launch the same stuff in France or in Europe because they fear of regulation, that they believe that it's going to be complex to implement. And the question is it good for Europeans and for Europe to prevent the usage of AI? I will not position myself on that, but it's obviously a big topic, regulation against innovation. We have Piotr that is asking that since Google is using content created by brand and publishers and not sending traffic to this website, is this model sustainable? Why should publisher brand create content in this model if it doesn't bring them traffic? So that's a very interesting question. So the question is basically asking, how will a website find money and how will a website be living and keep create content if they don't get the traffic? So there is several ways Google could be paying the website for providing information to AI overview. Maybe Google will pay your website few cents each time they crawl your information and create an AI overview answer. So that could be a first way. So basically tell you, create content, I'll pay you each time I use your information. That's what they do with the weather forecast or the films, etc. Some information. They pay weather forecast to provide you with weather forecast information here. So that's a first way. Second is to provide you more traffic. They will try maybe to push for more websites so that the user will click more. So that would be a change in the way they do. And they can also share the revenue of ads to the companies that provide them with content. So they have not said anything about it, and it's an open question to date. Mariana as asked, thanks and congrats for a great presentation, very useful and clear. My question, sorry for that. How can we make sure we become a source of OpenAI GPT? So the question is the same. How can we make sure we become a source of information? So you need to have updated information. You need to have structured information, and you need to generate user-generated content. So if you start right away to look at your website and to structure it way better by using schema.org, then the AI will better understand your website and take your information to put it into the AI overview. And the other big idea is to help your user generate content about your brand or about your services to be used by AI overview when they ask for a service type or things like that. Anna, should we continue to follow the best SEO recommendation we are working on so far, although AI requires a specific one, example structured data? So yes, you should keep on doing SEO optimization, because this AI overview doesn't change massively what have been done so far. And you're right, you need to keep on improving the structured data on your website. But keep in mind that structured data has always been important. It's just becoming more and more important. The same way user-generated content has always been important. It's just becoming more and more important. And for example, your UX design has been important, but maybe less important because people will less go on your website. So it's not changing everything. It's just reallocating the priorities. So if I should give you some priorities, I would say you need to understand if your website is well structured, if you have structured data, information, correct content, etc. And you need to make sure you manage your user-generated content correctly, and that people are not saying bad stuff about you and about your company on the internet, because otherwise this information will be used by AI overview to provide to users. Maria, will AI overview penalize ChatGPT written content even if it's valuable? So you have to imagine when you write ChatGPT content, you basically take information and change it you dilute it, you make it longer. So I think that AI overview will not favor ChatGPT content, because this is usually poor content. It's just another way of saying things that have already been said. So it's very important to provide users with good content and not ChatGPT generated content, because this is the work of Gemini and AI overview to take that information on your website and to summarize it. So if you put ChatGPT generated content on your website, then Gemini will just take that and summarize it, which is very low in terms of value creation. So what is important is really to understand what users are looking for and to put on your website not very long article, but very valuable article with very structured information, with titles, etc. Did you lose the sound? So I have many questions. Okay. Perplexity is like OpenAI. Which is its specific feature? Is it more than ChatGPT? So Perplexity is not related to ChatGPT. Perplexity is a specific company, and Perplexity is basically a search engine. It's really not related to OpenAI. It's using its own search engine and its own LLM to provide users with a new search experience. But it's not related to OpenAI, as far as I know. Christina, will AI overview prioritize information related to brands that invest more in ads? That's a very complex question. I believe that you'll be able maybe to prioritize your content in the AI overview, paying maybe for Google, but this is a question I have not the answer. Just to make it clear, it's been launched, rolled out in the US 2 months ago. So we're trying to keep up with the pace of innovation. So I don't have all the information. So how does AI overview take the most accurate answer from the internet? Does it depend on the website rating? Yes. So to make sure that your information is legit and that can be used in AI overview, Google will try to look at your domain authority, which means, is your website reliable? Is your website structured? Has your website a lot of backlinks? So it's the same way of SEO works, but now it's data SEO, meaning that AI overview will try to understand if your website is relevant and tags that information to go in AI overview. So you can see that the website, the sources of AI overview are usually very well ranked website because the algorithm is very alike. What is the difference between AI overview and ChatGPT 4.0? Could you tell me again? Okay. AI overview is an AI overlay on the search experience. So you're using Google, AI overview is just a block at the top of your search experience. So it's integrated in Google. In the difference, ChatGPT 4.0 is an assistant. You can use it on the phone and discuss with it and film it, and you don't have queries. You cannot search for specific stuff. You're just discussing. So ChatGPT 4.0 is an assistant, and AI overview is the AI integrated in your search experience. So it's a very different way of searching. So the Astra project, which has been launched by Google, is the competitor of ChatGPT 4.0, but this is a very different way of searching than AI overview. What are the key differences between Astra and Gemini? So, okay, I've answered this one. Do you have any other question that I have not answered? I think we're good. That was tough and intense. I hope you understand most of it. We'll provide you with the replay. You can also contact us to discuss this further if you're interested in any additional information about it. Thank you so much. We're trying to keep up with these types of webinars, and let's keep in touch. I hope I will have the occasion to discuss this further.